assuming that you have 2 crore rupee, you are lucky to get into a bond which will get you 8%. The problem is that you will keep getting 16 lakh rupees on those 2 crore capital, and that might be good enough or more than enough today, but it may not be more than enough 3 years from now.
Hello and welcome to Investors Hangout, brought to you by Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund and Value Research. Now, you worked for 30 years, you retired, you built a corpus during this time, and the day you retired, something changed quietly. Not just your schedule, but the way your money should work here on. So today, with Dhirendra Kumar, we'll talk about this shift, a plan to make your money last. Well, welcome, Dhirendra.
Thank you.
First up, let's begin with, does retirement change the way one invests or how one invests? What is it that actually changes drastically?
It changes everything. All your life you earned, you saved and you invested, and it was only growing. 2-3 occasions in your life before retirement, you took out some part of it for building a house, maybe buying a house or for your child's education or some such thing. But it was only growing, it was only rising, and you had a big fallback. And the tap was on. Every month you get the money from which you spend, and you are still left with something. That is how all our working life pans out. Then what happens? Here the tap comes to an end. So you become a little fearful. You become a little conservative. Even if you have any amount of money, the fact that from accumulation phase you are getting into distribution phase, deriving something, so that makes you conservative. Also the retirement sometimes make you very vulnerable, because the moment you retire, and if you are coming from a formal work structure, you get your superannuation benefit, you get the PF benefit or whatever, a part of your employer contribution, some large sum of money, and you are not used to handling it. You are suddenly faced with a situation that you lived on a month-on-month basis, and suddenly it looks like a big money, and you are not geared to handle it. How to deal with it? Then the fourth problem is, it makes you extremely vulnerable. Many people look at you as a prey, that you have money and everybody knows it, and you are not used to handling that sum of money. So it requires checks and balances at different levels.
Right. And one has to make sure that the tank never runs dry on.
That is that was the biggest thing. What I said was that is the emergency situation when you are being looked upon as a prey and you are not used to handling. That is the first set of problem. Second set of problem is how to configure yourself that you don't exhaust your money in your lifetime. How to make it last forever, because the prospect of spending all your money or outliving your savings, investments, is a very grim one.
So now let's move on to how should one split their money in retirement?
The broad principle to divide your money to be invested post-retirement is, one is the sacrosanct money, the emergency money, which you can just bank on and it will lie there and it is not exposed to any kind of risk. Second is your income engine, the money which will be invested in such a manner that it will support you with regular income. So one is the safety net, second one is the income. And then if you are still left with some money, that should be there invested in such a manner that will provide you protection against inflation, the money which will grow, and money which you will not depend on for income. That is the money which will ensure that the first two buckets that you have created, its value will be protected, because those values are not rising. It will be invested in such a manner that it provides you assurance. It is not there to provide you growth of a very sizable kind. The third component, third bucket, should be invested in equity, invested in a very careful manner, invested and gaining the exposure in a manner that you are eliminating some onboarding risk, getting started risk. And that is how it should be. 3 buckets. One is the safety net, second is the income, third is the growth.
Right. So fixed income is usually the foundation for most retirees. What are the best options available right now?
Every investor needs fixed income. either to reduce the volatility even in your accumulation phase. That is why we suggest that 10%, 20%, 25% after 5 years of accumulation, everybody should have fixed income. But in retirement, it becomes compulsory. If you are not going to get any regular income by way of pension, then you have to invest so that you are assured of some income. And everybody needs some money to go on regularly. So the first set of investment should be, if you are not getting any pension, go for the guaranteed return products. Something like senior citizen savings scheme. There's absolutely no uncertainty about the income that you'll get or any default. Likewise, post office MIP. If you have a larger need and a larger corpus, then maybe RBI bonds. These are three options which are available in as much quantity as you want, and you are assured. But the problem of this is that if you get too conservative and invest all your money here in bank deposit and all these three alternatives, the problem is that the money will not grow. The value of your capital will keep reducing. So these are your options. Invest in a limited way to the extent that you will be assured of the income, but don't cross that. Don't get over conservative to invest as much, and don't get risk averse, because the risk of getting it too much into fixed income is that your capital will remain constant, and at some point your need for higher income will not be supported by the same capital.
Right. So you have reiterated many a times that retirees should look at equity bucket as well. Whereas most retirees are still not comfortable with the idea. Can you explain why does one need equity and where should one invest that money?
Exactly for the reason what I was telling you, that if you, assuming that you have 2 crore rupee and you invest, you are lucky to get into a bond which will get you 8%. You are also lucky to get a bond which will not default. It is a very high quality bond, maybe government of India bond. So you are assured of 8% and on 2 crore, and this is the money that you will earn. And you will get all your life, assuming you got this bond. Unlikely, but assuming you get this bond. So now you are assured of this much money. The problem is that you will keep getting 16 lakh rupees on those 2 crore capital. And that might be good enough or more than enough today, but it may not be more than enough 3 years from now. It may not be from 5 years from now. It will be far less. And that is the time when you won't be able to do anything about it. So you need to have a component which will keep growing so that it can support the need for higher income, and that is the risk which most retirees. And the moment you are in a situation that you need more than what you consume, what your investment is generating, as I was telling you, that 2 crore rupee, 16 lakh rupees a year, which is translating into some amount of money, which is 1,33,000 rupees or whatever, which looks like sufficient, and it will not be enough in 3 years time or 5 years time. So you will dip into your capital. Once you start dipping into your capital will erode and it will provide you lesser income. And that is the grim prospect, which to eliminate that you need to invest in equity.
And what are the equity options that retirees must explore?
Equity options are different for different people. Most retirees who are extremely uncomfortable or they are not used to equity market, it is important that first they get used to it. Then they get used to it gradually. Then they get used to it gradually through a vehicle which is not all equity, so that you have a steadier take on the turbulence. Because retirement brings one more thing. It brings fear. It brings greater fear. A 5% decline while you're still working and you're still earning and your earning is rising is a different thing. A 5% decline when you have stopped earning looks like end of the world.
Should one also consider international equity as one of the options?
Oh yes, when investing in equity, your religion is invest in the finest stocks, which will grow, and because those companies will grow, it'll translate into superior capital appreciation. And when it comes to invest in equity, you don't have to be. You have to just be focused on that. And Indian market is only 4.5 or 5% of the global equity market of the listed universe. So what I'm saying is that when investing in equity, you have to invest in the finest of stocks. You have to diversify so that you're not exposed to the risk of concentration. You are not exposed to the risk of any geography. You are not exposed, and our jobs are here. So to diversify better, to look for superior investment avenue, to look for avenues which are not otherwise available to Indian investors, you must consider having international stock. But first, start with a hybrid fund. Don't think international. Start with getting used to equity. Then get comfortable with equity. Then certainly add international equity.
So you mentioned three buckets: safety, income, and growth. What is the ideal split between each bucket that a retiree must look at?
There is no ideal split. It is entirely a matter of scale and your income requirement. If you have 10 crore rupee, it's a different story. If you have 40 lakh rupees and your income requirement is about 6% of that 40 lakh rupees annually, then it's a different story. Your need and necessity. So it requires a little bit of thinking, little bit of careful planning. Think of 1 crore rupee and assuming your requirement is 50,000 rupees a month, it looks fine and it can be easily derived. But if you don't invest in an instrument, if you don't invest in a fund or a set of investments, you don't make a set of investments which will generate more than 8-9%, then you will not be left with any surplus which will lead to growth of your capital. Growth of your capital, even in your retirement, while you consume the return that is generated by the investment on an annual basis, is just as important. And conservative investors should have it through vehicles which are relatively more steadier. It does not scare you more. Investors who have gotten used to equity and they have a slightly superior headroom, that your need for income is just about 3%. That is the headroom you have. Even if goes down in between, it will not scare you. Because you have gotten used to it, it will not scare you. But if you are investing for the first time, you see a 10% decline in the value of your investment, it's scary.
Now, let's talk about the single biggest mistake that you often see retirees make:
Put all your money in deposit. Get your interest taxed every year.
being too conservative.
Being too conservative. And even before that, not being able to handle that money. And the biggest risk which retirees face when they are not used to handling large sum of money is being duped and misled. And that money being appropriated wrongly or being channelized. So you have to be very careful. You have to ask questions and you have to ask you have to get down to first principles. What is in it for me? How does it work? If you don't do it and nobody else can worry about it better than you.
All right, so three buckets for retirees: safety, income, and growth, and you invest in each one of them according to your needs. Review it every year. That's all we have for you in this episode. We'll see you next week.